So the short version of what was released or announced today is the PHB DMG Monster Manual equate to about 1,000 sheets. We knew that. PHB has new class features, new subclass options, new feats, new equipment, new spells, weapon focused characters get new evolving options as you level up, some of which are subtle and some of which are dramatic. 400 spells in total. They've all been reimagined at some point, and some non-combat spell options. Brand new crafting rules. The information is reorganised, which we've discussed in the past. It did need a different order. There's a rules glossary added for quick look at what means what. One of the most exciting things is the Weapon Mastery Edition. Weapons have tactics attached now, if your class feature unlocks it. So as standard, a dagger is a dagger, but if you unlock the special ability, that dagger will, for free, give you an extra attack with the dagger. So no bonus action needed for offhand attack. And if you use offhand attack, that is essentially 3 attacks per turn. There's something called Graze, which does always do damage. So even on a miss, you do some damage, because you're supposed to be this cool fighter or barbarian. And a fighter is a master of the weapon masteries. You can drink a potion as a bonus action rather than an action now. They talk a lot about new art. Padding, I would say. Backgrounds are redesigned. You take half of it as origins and half of it as species and mix them up as best you can. You get that early feat called an origin feat. Your backgrounds give you the +2 and a +1, or 3 +1s to put where you want. The idea is that you pair classes with different backgrounds and are inspired to try out new duos. About 75 new spells, and all of the spells have been reworded, rejigged. The creature appendix at the back is bigger. You know where you got the cat and the bat? They've all been reworded. In the equipment section, where it says mounts, you actually have the stats for those mounts, rather than searching high and low elsewhere. Your familiars have different options. Your druid wild shape has more options, and they're clear and they're there in front of you. The stat blocks in general are just supposed to be easier to use and more fun, whatever that means. The summoning spells have been redesigned, and they actually have stat blocks attached. And it gives you a breakdown of like aberrations and a list of what you can summon that is an aberration. They've added the Soul Knife, the Psy Warrior, Aberrant Sorcerer. Look, they've stolen a lot of things from Tasha's, but it's alright. They've tried to up the psionic stuff, but they haven't added the Mystic or anything. Tweaks to the patrons, like the Fae and the Great Old Ones. Fae stuff seems to sound really interesting. 3 brand new subclasses: Circle of the Sea Druid, College of Dance Bard, Path of the World Tree Barbarian. And the others are really heavily reimagined as well. They've done a lot of work, it sounds like. 75 feats. Epic boon feats that you get at level 19. More fighting style options, some of which you get through the feats. Heroic inspiration rather than inspiration. It's a reroll to any roll, like a healing spells roll or a mysterious DM roll. You can just use your heroic inspiration and say, I'm re-rolling that. The Goliath, the Asamar, the Orc are added to playable races. They're all enhanced, rejigged, bettered. And then the DMG, 5 sample adventures. I'm curious about what they are. A complete campaign setting, which they've chosen Greyhawk as. I mean, you know, OG Gary Gygax stuff. That's fair enough. They've got a lore glossary, an easy, quick reference guide. The Bastions section. Every player can have a bastion, or they can all live together. But it's like a mini-game for your stronghold life. From level 5 onwards, you basically micromanage hirelings and stuff back at your castle or wherever. They call it a bastion turn, and basically the players DM their bastions. There's more magic items. There's a crafting magic items section, which is also in small part in the PHB, but expanded in the DMG. It's like how to create a spell scroll or a potion of some kind. The cosmology section is more useful information. There's some tracking sheets added, your campaign notes, such like that. In the monster manual, 75 new monsters. In addition to the normal vampire and vampire spawn, there's a lesser vampire who's not as much turned, and there's like a more advanced vampire than the vampire. The challenge ratings themselves, which always break down at higher levels, have been reworked so that the more deadly things they can do to push and fill out that challenge rating so it's a suitable challenge rating, not a weak monster for that challenge rating. All new art is mentioned again, so filler. And there's the addition of apex monsters a lot of the time, higher level of difficulty basically. There's the Colossus, which is a construct, an ooze called the Blob of Annihilation, an arch hag, and an elemental juggernaut. These are all city killers. And in a nutshell, a very exciting nutshell, that is it. And I have pre-ordered the lot with a digital accompaniment, and I just think maybe this product will still keep the whole thing the greatest role-playing system that there is. A lot of competition around, but, you know, the number one for a reason.